Hi.
Hi Andy.
Today we want to do a quick video because we published a preprint about offshore wind turbine installation, how these turbines vibrate. You're the lead author, Aljoscha. What's the main idea of the preprint?
So in the preprint that we have authored together with our friend and colleague Bas Hollmann, we explore a novel mechanism that we think leads to the coupling between the different degrees of freedoms in an offshore wind turbine. The background is that in a measurement campaign in 2019-2020, during the installation of an offshore wind farm, the Torsional wind farm in the German Bight, we found that the turbines move in a very particular way. They vibrate, and they don't just vibrate back and forth or left and right, but they actually do both and change direction quite suddenly and swiftly. And this has not yet been reproduced using the usual type of tools that you use when designing a turbine, such as open-fast. And so that basically means that there's a physical effect happening that is not incorporated into those numerical tools. And we think we found one. We think that the eccentric mass that is the nacelle put on top of the tower actually leads to a twisting of the tower when the tower vibrates. Just imagine if you look from the top of the tower and the tower would vibrate in this kind of direction. Now you have to imagine that the center of gravity of the nacelle is in front of the tower, so kind of shifted towards the north. And if you then, if the turbine vibrates, that mass has an inertia, and that inertia will lead to torsion, and that torsion will do two things. It will induce torsional vibration, but it will also, it twists, and this twisting component, this adds a certain an impulse in the other direction. So if it moves like this and it starts twisting, it will start also vibrating in that direction, basically. And in the preprint, we explored this by 3 different means. We had a tower top experiment, a tabletop experiment. Our colleague Bas built a finite element model, and you derived a simplified version, basically, of the numerical model that is just has 3 degrees of freedom, and the results are very promising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this can describe these orbits, as we call them, that change in direction. Do you think this also has practical application? Do you think it can help people who install the turbines or who are planning these installation processes?
Yes, I think it's actually paramount to improving the installation process, because if you imagine you're installing a blade, and if your turbine is just moving back and forth, you might match the blade with the motion of the turbine and land the blade in the rotor and all as well. However, what we see offshore is that you have these sudden changes in motion, and thus the installation becomes more complex, more difficult. So, and of course, if our idea, it's not even a theory yet, but if our idea proves to be applicable to offshore wind turbines, we hope to better understand the kinematics and eventually predict the kinematics. Dependent, of course, on the environmental parameters, and it's probably only going to be in a stochastic way. But still, predicting the motions would be a first step in improving the installation.
All right, thank you. Where can people find the preprint?
You can find the preprint below this video in the comments. You can find it on Archive or ResearchGate. I think the easiest is if you just either click on the link below or just Google either Andreas or Bas or me, and we will be able to find it.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.